I gave your dog to my nephew. It's his now. That's what Karen said to me straight-faced, like she was handing down a casserole recipe or something. Not joking, not asking, telling me, like my property was hers to give. My dog, the one I built with my own hands, on my own damn land, with my own money. I stood there, stunned, my mind just spinning. I mean, how do you even respond to that level of arrogance? Now, I'm not the kind of guy who yells or causes a scene. I'm more of the slow burn, watch me work type. But what Karen didn't realize when she pulled that little stunt is that I don't just get mad, I get strategic. And I've got patience most people wouldn't believe. Let me back up a sec. I'm Gavin, an engineer. I work with smart glass, you know, the kind that turns from clear to opaque in those fancy buildings downtown. Pays the bills, keeps the brain busy. But what really matters to me is where I live, a quiet little house by the lake with a small dock I built myself over 6 weekends. It's not glamorous, but it's mine. Every morning I'd sit out there with coffee, listen to the birds, watch the sunrise melt across the water. It was peace. My peace. Then Karen moved in. She showed up out of nowhere, ran for HOA president the week after unloading her boxes. And she won, because she's the type who speaks in phrases like community betterment and shared values, but really what she means is, what's yours could be mine if I want it bad enough. At first, I figured she was just another overly involved neighbor, you know the type, but then she started poking around. A few months in, she asked if we could use my dog for the HOA summer barbecue. I told her no politely, I might add. It was nothing personal, I just didn't want the liability. Someone falls, someone drinks too much, next thing I know I'm in court. I offered to help out in other ways, even said I'd pitch in food or help set up tents. Just not on my dock. She smiled, but it wasn't a warm smile. It was tight. Calculated. Like she'd just added me to a list. After that, things shifted. I'd see her standing in her backyard, staring at my dock like it owed her rent. She started sending emails, subtle, passive-aggressive stuff about maintaining waterfront standards and proper use of shared lake access. Except, it's not shared. It's mine. I checked the plat map twice. Still mine. Mrs. Wilson, who's lived on this block longer than God, caught me one day while I was watering the garden. Whispered that Karen had been asking neighbors weird questions about my dog, about permits. Said, Gavin, you need to be careful, honey. And then she glanced around like Karen might be hiding in the shrubs. I should have listened. I left town for 2 days, just 2 on a work trip, and when I came back, I found an email in my inbox. Subject line, Dog Community Use Authorization. I thought it was spam. But no, it was real. Karen had called an emergency HOA meeting while I was gone and declared my dog reassigned for community purposes. Specifically, under the management of Travis Landry for youth programming. Travis. Her nephew. The 22-year-old who once got kicked out of a homeowners meeting for vaping during the Pledge of Allegiance. I called her immediately, still trying to process it. She actually answered like everything was fine. Told me I should be proud my dog would be helping the youth, said I was being selfish and unneighborly. Then sent me a PDF of the meeting minutes complete with my forged signature. I mean, they even tried to copy my terrible handwriting. Next morning, I hear yelling and music. I walk out and there it is Travis and his buddy setting up coolers, Bluetooth speakers, inflatables, the whole deal right on my dock. Big banner said, Jackson Youth Center. I just stood there in disbelief, wearing pajamas and holding a coffee, while some kid shotgunned a beer 10 feet from my tomatoes. That's when something inside me cracked or maybe clicked. This wasn't just about the dock anymore. This was about being steamrolled by someone who thought she could get away with it. And I don't let people roll over me. I engineer solutions. So I went to work. Spent 2 days digging through HOA bylaws, property records, county permits. With some help from old Mr. Thompson, retired attorney, grumpy as hell but sharp as a nail. I found a clause from the original HOA charter. Said any private structure built fully within a homeowner's deeded property for security or privacy was exempt from association jurisdiction. Boom. That was my opening. I called in a few favors, ordered panels of high-security smart glass bulletproof, crystal clear, same stuff I install for Fortune 500 companies. My plan: build a transparent wall 8 feet tall between the shore and my dock. Completely legal. Practically invisible. I didn't work alone. Ed, my neighbor 2 houses down, lent a hand. Retired contractor, hates HOA drama, and especially hates Karen. She fined him once for having a non-conforming mailbox. We worked mostly at night, sneaking panels in through the side yard. It took us 4 nights, gallons of sweat, and one near disaster when Travis stumbled by drunk with a flashlight. But by dawn on day 5, it was done. A seamless, clear as air glass wall. Unbreakable. Undeniable. Unmissable if you walked into it. Which Karen did. 2 days later, she threw a community party on my dock. HOA banners, music, speeches, the whole neighborhood invited. I watched from my porch, beer in hand. Then Karen strutted toward the house, leading a group of HOA members across the dock, smiling like a politician at a ribbon cutting. And Smack walked face first into my invisible wall. She stumbled back, confused, holding her nose. People gasped. I walked down with a grin and waved. Karen, I said, hope you're okay. It's just my protective structure. Fully compliant. Section 9, subsection 3. Permitted without approval. Want a copy of the paperwork? She threatened to sue. I welcomed it. Turns out she shouldn't have. Because what I didn't tell her is that I'd embedded tiny cameras into the glass frames, high-def audio and video. Security, sure. But also evidence. And I had plenty, including a recording of Karen telling Travis, "Don't worry, baby. That dock's yours now. We'll make back the HOA funds with private rentals." Yeah. That happened. In court, her lawyer tried to paint me as a dangerous vigilante who trapped party guests. But when we played the footage, her admitting she forged documents, misused HOA funds, bullied neighbors, the judge stopped the trial code and kicked it to the DA's office. A week later, Karen was indicted for fraud, embezzlement, and forgery. Travis got community service. And my dock returned to me, officially, permanently, forever. The wall. I took it down. Didn't need it anymore. But I kept one glass panel as a trophy. It sits on my shelf, catches the morning light just right. You know, if Karen had just asked me nicely, explained her situation, hell, I might have said yes. I might have helped her. But when someone tries to take what's yours just because they think they can, that's when you draw the line. That's when you build the line. Sometimes justice looks like a courtroom. Sometimes it looks like a war nobody saw coming. Now here's the real question: what would you have done? Would you fight back, or just let it go? Ever dealt with a neighbor like that? Let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear what justice looks like where you live.